On today's video, well, the wind's blowing at 473.62 miles an hour, according to my wet finger test, which, by the way, is the best way of measuring wind speed. Since it's so windy out here, I had planned on doing another video completely on something else, but since it's so freaking windy, I just don't want to be out there riding around. So I thought I'd come to this parking lot of a church and practice some low-speed maneuvers so all of you out there can watch me suck at riding. It's just how it goes. I mean, I'm completely uncomfortable with doing low-speed maneuvers on this bike, which I've only had for not even 100 miles, maybe 120, something like that, but I'm going to do it anyways because I thought it would make for pretty good entertainment. And since I am here in the parking lot of a church, I thought I'd maybe, pray to God that I don't drop my bike. And since I am in the parking lot of a church, maybe he'll hear me a little bit better and I won't drop my bike. So with that being said, stick around, pull up a chair, get something to drink, and maybe you can watch me screw up and suck at riding. So stick around, roll the intro, we'll be right back. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing on this video is things that you are expected to do in the MSF course. I watch a lot of Moto Jitsu videos, and that guy's just amazing at how he can just like take those bikes and tip them over and just do all kinds of stuff and really tight maneuvers and stuff like that. There's also, who's it, Jerry Palladino, Ride Like a Pro. I hope I'm saying your name right. I watch his videos and stuff, and there's a couple other guys out there. MC Rider talks about doing low speed maneuvers and killer riding techniques and stuff like that. I'm nowhere near those guys' level of skill, but I try my best. I try to get out here into parking lots once a week and do things before I go for any long rides or anything else like that. I'll find the nearest parking lot to my house and just kind of do a little bit of zigzagging and emergency braking and stuff like that. But being honest, that's like the extent of the low speed riding and practicing that I do, and I know I should really be doing more than that, but that's kind of the reason for coming out here today, because I really need to polish up on my skills. So with that being said, the MSF course, when you take it, the ones that I remember is that stupid figure 8 where you got to do that inside, like 4 parking spots or something like that. You got to do that, and then you got to do the weave test, and then you got to do the emergency braking test and the basic cornering and things like that. But today I'm just gonna kind of wing it, no particular order to any of this stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of screw around in the parking lot out here and talk about what I'm thinking about, and you all can just sit there and laugh at me if you want. I don't care. I usually like to start out, first thing I'll do when I go out for a ride and I find a nice parking lot, I'll accelerate the bike up to a certain miles per hour and then just do a little bit of emergency stopping and stuff like that. And I do remember from the MSF course that they want you to bring it up to 20 miles an hour and then stop as quickly as you can. Whew. And I do know that when you're practicing your emergency braking, this is how I feel anyways, that when you're doing your emergency braking, if you're not feeling the blood kind of rushing to the front of your brain as you're coming to a stop, you're really not doing it hard enough. You want to feel that blood rushing to the back of your eyeballs and giving you the pressure of really braking hard, which is how I do it. And if you have a bike that has anti-lock brakes on it, you may even get to the point where you can kind of feel that ABS kicking in, and that's kind of a good thing to feel. If you can feel like the ABS kind of kicking in as you're doing it, you want to kind of back off of that just a little bit, because if you're activating that anti-lock braking system and you're on a bike that doesn't have it, when you get used to using that, just don't use it as a crutch. So that last time when I came to a stop, I could feel the ABS kicking on the back tire. So I want to ease up on the pressure that I'm applying to the rear brake just to make sure that that ABS isn't kicking on. Now I know it's good to have it and it's great to have ABS, but I don't want to depend on it. So we'll do another one more time. I felt the ABS just a little bit on that last one. There we go. That one was just about perfect. Now the next one that I like to practice, remember, I'm not a frickin' pro. I don't claim to be anything close to what those other guys are that I talked about earlier. I just like to do a little bit of a weave test. Now I've got enough miles on these tires, I think it's going to be pretty safe to kind of do a little bit of weaving. Now you can really feel when you're doing the weaving on your motorcycle, you can really feel the tires. They have a tipping point, and it's kind of hard to describe it, but I'll do my best. You can really feel them kind of breaking over that middle point when they kind of fall onto that side profile of the tire. It's pretty distinct. So if you're doing the weaving test and you don't really feel like a breakover point, because tires are kind of shaped kind of like a weird U shape, but more like a V. I don't know if I'm describing that correctly, but to me that's kind of how they feel. So you want to be able to feel that when you're doing that, when you're doing the weaving back and forth. But notice when I'm doing that, I'm not leaning with the bike, I'm pushing the bike under me. So my body is kind of staying upright while I'm twisting and turning the bike underneath me, and it really helps to make maneuvers like that a lot easier and to move the bike a lot quicker. So the next one, now this is where I am like super uncomfortable with doing maneuvers, and that is the low speed tight turns and things like that. And mainly because I'm a little bit uncomfortable with keeping the bike in the proper rev range and in the proper part of the friction zone with the clutch. I'm not used to it on this bike yet, so this next one that I'm going to do, I can't do the figure eight. I don't think I can. I'm gonna give it a shot, but I'm just going to start doing some circles, going around in a circle to the right, and then I'll go around in a circle to the left, and then I'm going to attempt to do the figure eight. And I think it's like 2 parking spots wide and 2 parking spots deep. So the area where you could park 4 cars in. So here we go. Now this one, you got to bring the RPMs up. You have to be able to feather, stay in the friction zone where you're supposed to. Now I don't like to particularly pay attention exactly to where the lines are in the parking lot as I'm doing this. It's just one thing that I find even a little bit more distracting. And my problem is I don't go fast enough when I do this. Giving a little bit too much rear brake there. Then I can't even full lock the handlebars. Because honestly speaking, this sort of stuff really does intimidate me. I'm always just afraid to drop my bike, and I'm trying to look as far to the right as I can, because I know that's kind of the key to being able to make tight turns and things. Now I'm probably not even leaning my body enough when I do this. I really do need to push the bike down more underneath me, maybe lean a little bit farther. Now in my mind I'm leaning a lot and pushing the handlebars a lot, but I know on camera I'm going to look extremely stupid doing this, because I'm not going to be doing it as much as I think I am. A little bit more gas, more friction zone, more brake. You kind of get in the zone, at least I do anyways, after I do this for several spins. Right before I tend to start getting dizzy is when I tend to start getting is when I tend to start kind of getting in that zone. So it's kind of, it sucks because right as I get in the zone, I start getting dizzy from doing that. Just gonna keep trying to do it. It's a tricky thing, man. You gotta stay right in that friction zone. Right in that friction zone and hold the throttle perfect. Keep the rev range where you want it to be. It's good practice. And I've always felt that doing low speed maneuvers, things like this, that it's better to lean the bike under you than it is to lean with the bike. When you're going faster, of course, you know, it makes more sense to lean with the bike in the corners, you know, leaning with the bike in the corners and things like that. But low speeds, I've always felt more comfortable leaning the bike underneath me. It just feels better, and it makes it so I don't feel like I'm gonna tip over. Now, when I started riding, of course, I did a lot of research and talking about and watching a lot of videos about, you know, watching guys like Moto Jitsu do their thing and that sort of stuff. So I had it in my mind what I was supposed to do, but as far as like knowing what to do and applying it to actually riding, those are two completely different things. Because thinking about it, sitting on your couch watching YouTube videos, there's no fear. You know, you're just sitting there, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I know what I need to do. But then when you get out on the bike and you start doing these things, then your heart starts racing, your adrenaline starts flowing, and then all concentration is just extremely hard to grasp. So you got to do this kind of stuff in order to just get comfortable with it. Now, I gotta mention that when I look at this video, I'm gonna think that I'm leaning my bike over pretty good, you know, doing my stuff, have my form right, but I'm gonna find flaws, you know, things that are wrong with my form and what I'm doing and stuff like that. As with anything, you know, you can't call yourself a professional unless you're really, really, really good at these things and you get paid to do it, which those guys are. They're professionals at this stuff. They get paid to do it and they're really, really good at it. So the best that I can do as your average, just everyday weekend warrior motorcyclist, I can just come out here and just try my best. Just like you guys, you know, if you're just one of those guys like me that just goes riding when you get the opportunity to, just do your best. On to the next drill, which is a stupid figure 8. I'm going to try to do it in these 4 spots right here. This is like, this is the MSF nightmare for everybody that's ever taken the MSF course. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So if I remember correctly, if I come at it, let's see here, from this side, I'm totally going to fail this, but and that's kind of what it looks like. Now I know I went outside the lines because, like I said, I'm terrible at this. I'm going to try it again. Once again, this is just combining tight rights with tight lefts. Except you got to do it just right to pass the MSF course. I mean, you're not going to fail because they give you points and things, but this is hard. This is really freaking hard. I always go just outside the line. See, that was way out. Way out. This is very hard to do. And I give full credit to the guys that can do this kind of stuff, man. It's not easy. I think I did it once in the MSF course. See, I'm just not turning my handlebars tight enough. See? I just can't do it. It's very hard. I just don't have the confidence to push the bike underneath me that hard. Now I know there are lots of videos out there explaining how to do this. See, I just can't do it. I get, you know, probably within a foot of that one line and I always go over. But there's a lot of videos on the internet explaining how to do the figure 8. And it sounds practical. I mean, it sounds like, yeah, I could do that. But when you try to do it, that was probably the best one I've done yet. Even then, I was still going too freaking slow. But I'm gonna try it one more time, and then I'm gonna stop, because honestly, I feel like if I'm ever gonna drop my bike, it's doing that, because I just can't get those corners tight enough. One more time. See, not too bad, but I can't quite get it. Anyways, so that's kind of my routine that I do. I try to do it once a week. There's been times when I've kind of forgotten to do it, to be honest with you, because sometimes you just want to go for a ride and not screw around in a parking lot for, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes before each ride. But I try to. But that's kind of my routine. When I do get to come out and do this stuff, I don't do anything too fancy. I don't set up cones and things like that. When it comes to my riding abilities and where I want to be, I'm more concerned with traffic and road hazards than being able to do super tight technical stuff in parking lots, and being able to, you know, drag knees in corners and stuff like that. All that stuff is really cool to watch guys do that sort of thing, and it'd be nice to be able to do that thing, but I know my limitations. You know, I'm never going to be somebody that can do stuff that, you know, you watch in the other YouTube videos. I'm just not good enough, and maybe someday I'll get there, but it takes a lot of practice, a lot of time, a lot of practice. And unfortunately, you might be just like me. I get to ride, sometimes I only get to ride once a week, and it sucks because I don't have the time to come out here and do this as much as I would like to. So I know my limitations, and this is the type of rider that I am. Weekend warrior, whatever. Go out and cruise around after work sometimes, Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, things like that. But anyways, this is what I do. So I hope you guys get out there sometime when you have time to do this sort of thing, because it really does. These low speed maneuvers and stuff like that, they really do help as far as like being able to you know, get yourself out of dangerous situations. Being able to stop in time, maneuver through traffic and around obstacles and things like that. It really, really does help. So I know that while I struggle at doing these low speed maneuvers, I know that it does help keeping me safe out there on the road. So anyways, I need to spend more time practicing, and so do you, because I suck at riding and you might suck too. So anyways, thanks for watching the video. Everybody ride safe. Have a good day, have a good weekend, have a good week. Just be safe riding and stuff. And I hope to see you on the next video. Write down in the comments below what's the scariest part for you about practicing riding. To me, it's the tight turns, without a doubt. Mainly because I don't want to drop my bike. I don't want to scratch my bike. Anyways, thanks for watching. We will see you on the next video. Everybody take care.